How do you feel?
Fine.
Do you need to catch your breath? I know you ran all the way over here.
Well, I didn't run. No, I had
Oh,
time.
I was trying to create a little sense
Cool
of
down.
drama for the audience.
Well, that's what they all do.
And
All the press,
Yes,
all the
I know.
interviews always make it rather dramatic,
Make up news.
romantic, you know, sort of.
yeah, but you're not out of breath. Well, what kind of mood are you in after a performance? Are you up?
Well, it's accomplished, and there was no major disasters. I mean, you don't hate yourself.
No major disasters?
And you don't hate yourself as you thought you might.
But-
And so it's fine.
Last time you were here, you had just gotten off a transatlantic flight.
Yes.
And it was your first television interview in America. And
That's right,
It was
yes.
remarkable how well you did. And I wondered if you'd be in a completely different mood tonight, having just come off stage.
Well,
I don't mean bad.
let's find out.
Well, what's the last time you were streaked in performance? Some of them may not have heard or read about it. Where was that?
Milwaukee.
What happened there?
It was Don Juan,
Yeah.
ballet by Nureyev, and he was from Milwaukee himself, the choreographer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, there was a scene where Commandore is supposed to come in, and I hear strange sounds, and I don't quite understand what it is, and suddenly I see Streaker run, and public went wild, and I thought, should I compete with him, or should I pretend nothing had happened? So there I stood there, acting away.
You just kept going.
While public went absolutely mad and screamed and clapped for Streaker. And, so,
Did he actually cross the stage from what he
well,
came up
from my side, and he went that way.
Yeah. Did he show signs of any talent?
Well, apparently, well, he looked rather good.
Yeah.
And he had the right to be naked.
Had the right to be naked. Does anyone not? I'd rather not. I'd rather not. No. Does an audience ever get on your nerves at a ballet from night to night?
Well, and there's some well-wishers, you know.
Well-wishers.
Yes, sort of over-anxious, and you have something fiendish to do. And you do it first time, it's okay, and then second time you have to do it again. And by then your concentration will be disturbed, and so.
Do people ever become
You
just
wish-
intoxicated either from booze or from enthusiasm and yell at you during a performance? It seems like the last night I saw you, there had been a lady yelled something out from the audience. Maybe it wasn't audible on stage.
Well, sometimes it might throw you off.
Yeah, has happened.
So you can't repeat the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Equally good.
Yeah, I understand.
So, but it's better they react spontaneously.
After a performance, I noticed you go out and eat right away.
Well, when else?
True, I hadn't thought of it that way. It would look sort of silly during a performance.
But otherwise it will be me and my dinner dancing together, no?
Well, but you had, I'm going to reveal what you had the other night. You went to it was a Russian tea room actually, you had a
Yes.
big steak,
Yeah.
and I think about half a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
But which you sipped only. He doesn't drink very much, so.
Well, half a
something.
bottle went. Off it went, yeah.
Surely you have no performance nerves after all this time.
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you?
I do, yes.
Bad?
Terrible, yeah.
I don't mean on opening night, but I mean from night to night.
Well, every night is opening, you know. So, like yesterday, I did first time film Al Gardet. So it was,
Yes, you do. I don't know if they
So
told you
that-
about the review, but you got a sensational review. And they said you should do more comedy in the last review I read. I mean, that it's a shame you don't do more comedy.
I see. Well,
Not that you
that's
should do
better.
more in the performance you gave. I mean that. No, not at all. You know what I
we
mean?
have to balance repertoire.
Yeah.
And then today it was first time I did Ballet there, sort of after a year of not doing it. So it's new, different place. So
Nerves
it is
always
another
hit-
nerves, and it's very short ballet. It's 30 minutes,
Mhm.
and you have to be, you go on stage and you have to be bang on straight away.
You have to be what?
Basically, well, you have to be on straight away.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be, speed 100 miles at an hour straight away.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't get into it gradually.
Yeah.
because this act is taken out of context, out of whole ballet.
Yeah.
So
So you've got to start right at the top of your form.
If it is full-length ballet, then gradually you get ready for this kind of dancing, very sharp and precise, and and here is, you get on stage and have to deliver, and it's rather fast. So
It's strange to be backstage at a ballet if you've never have, because I know you have, of course, but from the audience it looks like magic. The people move with just like a breath of air, and there's no effort, and it's just it seems almost magical. And then if you're ever in the wings and you see a dancer come off from one of these great numbers and he's going, and maybe some oxygen, and then goes back out and floats again.
This story you probably got across the street. In our company, we don't do that.
Wait a minute. I think I know what the problem is. Did it look like I was pantomiming vomiting?
I don't know, oxygen mask and all that, as I told you.
No, I saw a very famous dancer.
Very clear.
I was trying to indicate being badly out of breath, and gasping for breath. My acting is very poor.
So I guess he didn't go to class.
Maybe not. Should I mention who it was?
No, never mind.
Okay,
everybody knows.
We have a message. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. Some weeks back, I did a show about Groucho Marx with some clips from shows he had done with me.
Great, huh?
And he's been very important in my career. He gave me a lot of advice at important times and was very encouraging. Who are the people in your career that you owe the most to? I think I know one of them.
Well, to begin with, it would be my teacher back in Leningrad, Pushkin. And in the West, it would be Margot Fonteyn, mostly. Yes. And Frederick Ashton.
Who?
Frederick Ashton. He's choreographer and founder of Roll Ballet. And, well, there's Eric Brun. By his dancing, he was an exemplary dancing.
Can you talk a little louder for the...
Just,
problem. I was going to ask you about Pushkin, because it seems sad to me always that he, as far as I know, he has never seen you dance again since you defected, has he?
Oh, he have seen films.
Films only?
Yes. I managed to send my film of Romeo and Juliet sort of after about 8 years.
Did it have to be smuggled in, or?
Well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about that.
He saw it and said, well, he's all right. Nothing to worry about him.
So, could you reach him if you wanted to on the telephone?
Well, he's already at the side, I probably will reach him later. He died.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
400 people laughing at a man's death. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It is. I really didn't realize that, and I apologize for the fact that we're all laughing.
Well,
Dudinskaya, is that how you pronounce the name of the...
Dudinskaya, Natalia Dudinskaya.
Now, as I understand it, she's the lady who kind of picked you out of nowhere.
No, it's not
well, no
that
one
way.
comes from nowhere, but you know what I mean.
Picked me,
that's the version.
I've been invited to dance as a soloist at the Bolshoi Theater and as a premier dancer at the Stanislavski Theater in Moscow. And Kirov didn't invite me to stay there. I was studying at the Kirov school, and company didn't invite me to stay there yet. Right. And well, during graduation performances, she came backstage and sort of on a staircase said, "Well, listen, stupid, I heard you're going to Moscow. Stay here and dance with me." Sort of kind of Mae West number.
I was going to say, she
well, it was wonderful.
She talked a little like Miss West.
So I stayed with her and danced.
Yeah. What can you say about Margot Fonteyn? What is it that did you know the minute you met, the minute you came in contact with her, that she was right for you?
Yes, well, you have kind of feeling.
Can you explain ever what that chemistry is that makes two people go together the way, in another way, that Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were perfect for each other in some way? You can't imagine them apart. And here you are with a lady who's absolutely somehow, ballet people seem to feel, made for you.
Well, I don't know how did it happen, but everything seems to work favorably.
You don't try to analyze it.
Favorably,
Yeah.
you know, when we start to rehearse, you know, it wasn't a fight. It was a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we moved in the same way, the same port de bras, the same turn of the head, and it's very important.
And you sense that immediately.
Yeah.
Can you tell when someone's wrong for you right away?
Well, sometimes you know, sort of presume, you know, heights are not exactly this way, and sometimes, you know, people dance, how to say, try to attract public's attention rather than concentrate on what they do, and then it projects into the public. No, so
Yeah. Have you ever danced with
suspicion.
anyone you just hated?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Did you?
Yes,
Well, I
did.
won't press you on that. Who was it?
Oh, no, there were quite a few. There
Oh,
were
quite a few.
few.
Okay. I want to take a look at your career with Miss Fontaine a little closer. I mean, give an example of it. Then I'm just trying to check and see if this is the clip. Yeah. We have an excerpt from Romeo and Juliet, and the two of you. We saw a glimpse of her before in that other one. With you, it's Romeo.
that from
Margot
film?
Fontaine, of course, is what?
Was that from the film?
You know, I don't know. The original clip that
Yes.
was from the film, I
Yes.
believe. Yeah, not from a tape performance. Anyway, this is the scene where Romeo and Juliet have spent their wedding night together. Romeo is now on the run, as you know, because he has killed Juliet's cousin, Tybalt. Let's take a look at that, and then we can talk about it. Very nice. Must be nice to get that much applause without having to do anything. Just sitting there like that. A friend of mine saw, I thought of it in there, I saw Yusevich. Is that his name?
Yuskevich.
Yuskevich, yes. Danced with Markova one time. It was Giselle. And she took a leap, and when she came down, he was not there to catch her. And it was this horrendous moment, just bang into the stage. Are these things ever intentional?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Can you believe that happened? I mean,
Well,
it was
could
there.
happen.
Was it
Sometimes you have,
Yes.
mental block.
just looking
on
the other
stage.
way or something like that?
Well, no, it's under the glare of
Yeah.
all those lamps.
Said it was a terrifying moment.
Tension is great, so you might forget all
Yeah.
what you're doing.
We must take a message. We'll be right back after this word from our local station. How are you feeling?
Okay, a little bit better.
Say something. Oh, let's talk about Margot Fontaine a bit. Well, I really don't know what to say about her. I guess it's silly to ask you what makes a great dancer great and what makes one person a genius and another not. There is a rumor that she will dance with you toward the end of this run in New York, which is this just a rumor?
Well, it's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
It's a pleasant rumor.
Yeah. But is it true?
We're going to have performance in July in London.
Are you?
There's a gala for Lord Droida,
Yeah.
and she's going to dance there.
Yeah.
At the moment, she's appearing in Australia.
Yes. There was some hope that she would drop in tonight. I don't want to
Yes, well-
titillate the audience because she isn't going to. But we got Jackie Gleason instead. Is there such a thing as a dancer's nightmare? Do you know what I mean?
Well, of course. I mean, and usually, well, if you sleep before performance,
Yeah.
like in afternoon, like some of us do, usually you dream that you miss your entrance. You have street shoes on.
Street
You didn't put some part of your costume, you run on. Nobody is there, or somebody is wrong on stage, and you miss everything,
Because
So it's nightmare. You wake up absolutely exhausted, and then you stagger to the theater.
It's
Absolute nightmare.
I guess every performing art has their own dream.
Did you
There's
have
the
nightmare
actor's
today?
nightmare that you don't know how they... What?
Did you have nightmare before the show?
No, not before this one. I've had several on these shows. But usually they're much worse than the dreams. But I have had one about this kind of show in which I haven't the slightest idea whom I'm speaking to or what they're doing here or what I'm talking to them about or where we are. It's a terrible dream, and it's that version of the actor's dream of not knowing why you didn't go to rehearsal or a performance or why it's opening night and you didn't learn your lines. And then that's a version of the exam dream where you're taking an exam and you can't see on the other person's paper and they're moving on to the next page.
Gee,
It's terrible.
isn't
It's
that
terrible.
lucky not to do it anymore?
Do you have any reason to think that dancers are any more neurotic than actors or vice versa?
No, probably equal.
Equal.
I know that some dancers escaped thinking that, well, acting would be sort of more intellectual and easy, or I don't know, less sweat.
Less sweat.
But I don't think it's that different.
Does it matter? How much formal education did you get as a kid?
Well, it depends on everybody. I finished school in Russia before I went to Leningrad, before I went to a dancing school.
Yeah.
So I studied all the subjects like chemistry and
Chemistry.
algebra, trigonometry, physics, and all that.
Did you hate school?
Quite. Quite.
I guess the reason I asked about neurosis in performers is that I've often had people here on the show who make a point of saying, I know I am neurotic, but if I ever went to an analyst, it would probably destroy my art. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Do you subscribe to that theory?
I don't know. I never went to analyst, so. Yes.
But I've never understood
I'm
why there
sure.
should be any connection between a person's talent and any neurosis that he or she might have. I mean,
Well, I
certainly the one
think it
doesn't
is
cause
a
the-
nerve-wracking experience being on stage, and
Yeah.
if you carry on utter rubbish, it's sort of, first of all, you punish yourself. So all you have to do practice more, prepare more for performance.
I ought to know the answer to this, but is there film of Nijinsky?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing.
No.
Does it pain you that you can never see him dance?
Well, one would like to see, of course. But you have photographs, and you could see they have been very carefully done and with great taste and a sense of proportion. You see, he wasn't very tall, and his legs were not exactly high extension or something.
Yeah.
It's always well-composed photographs.
And you can tell from the photo what he must have been
yes,
like.
and personality comes very strongly out. And his sense of involvement with every movement. You can't, there is not one photograph of him being false.
False.
You see, like I say, you have to be 100 miles an hour straight away, not from beginning. You're already 100 miles, and that's what he is in those photos.
He died, I guess, completely mad, didn't he?
Yes, never recovered.
Yeah. Did he continue to dance into that period of his life? And can you
No,
see
no.
that in the photographs?
Well, he did very few performances, and by 17 he already finished dancing.
Yeah. Do you have a cold?
Yes, I got from your air conditioning.
You conceived the cold while you were here?
Yes.
So soon?
So soon? Yes. Takes very short time.
No, I saw you sneezing backstage.
No, but you have air conditioning there too.
Is it
Well,
not-
you're asking me. I'm
That's
outside.
right. Well,
So,
you will send us a bill for the cold. I hope.
no.
By the way, you know that there's no pay on American television shows.
Yes, I know. I know.
Television belongs to the people.
Yes.
In this country. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. How should a person like myself, who grew up with a kind of ignorance of ballet, or how should anyone look at a performance? You know what I mean? A friend of mine who's a painter says, I can tell by the way a person looks at a canvas whether he knows anything about art or not. He said they can stand there and go, oh, it's wonderful, and yes, but he knows that they know nothing about what they're seeing. I have a feeling that you could tell that from watching someone watch a ballet, that they know nothing about what they're seeing. How should you watch a ballet?
They just try to enjoy it.
Should you turn off your mind, your brain, you know?
Well, you can't come see first performance and realize what is there. And it should take quite a while to see quite few ballets. I don't know. You first you go and see romantic ballets like Giselle, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, and then realize what period they've been done, what period they reconstruct, and so on. What conventions went. Probably would be nice if a person could read a little bit.
To read about the day.
Yes, about those things. And then if he stays, if he have the endurance and sticks around, then he will go and see some more complicated ballets, more contemporary, like Balanchine and Robbins and Tudor and Ashton. And then he will move on into modern dance.
But a person just going for the first time, there are
Well,
many
he just
adults in
enjoy
America who've never seen a ballet.
see which way it hits him, you know.
Yeah. I found it very moving the first time I went. I couldn't explain why, but I was suddenly filled with emotional feelings.
Good,
tears
very
would come to
nice.
your eyes.
Well, why didn't you stick around?
I didn't walk out.
No,
I
but
did.
I mean, I didn't see that often to the ballet.
Oh, well, I come, but I'm disguised. No, in fact, I lost my ballet virginity, you might say, to the Bolshoi. The first time I saw them, it was the Bolshoi company. And I think they were doing, as a matter of fact, the first ballet I saw bored me. It was Spartacus, and I found it kind of, they were doing a lot of tableau, and I didn't find it very interesting. And then the next time I went, they did Walpurgisnacht. I thought that was thrilling. And then they did a thing called dance school, where they did a lot of exercises. So, and for some reason, it hit me very deeply and emotionally. Do you mind my liking the Bolshoi?
It's fine, yes.
That was the first time I had ever gone. Why was there hissing when I said Walpurgisnacht?
Well, they were alluding to your taste.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say?
They were alluding to your balletic taste.
Oh.
So.
Is Walpurgisnacht considered sort of the Charlie's Aunt of ballet?
Well, it's kind of Hammer production.
Maybe that Hammer Productions?
Yes.
True, I like Dracula movies too. Maybe it wasn't Walpurgisnacht. There's a satyr in Walpurgisnacht, isn't there?
No, they do a lot of Walpurgisnacht at the Bolshoi.
And your simpler people tend to like it, is that? Well, okay, well, one of us will be right back. After we found out my primitive ballet taste, a man in the audience said, "Do you like the 1812 Overture too?" I'm just folks. Can I try something with you?
Yes.
What I'd like to do is show you a short film clip, sort of as a surprise, and it's of an American dancer who has a certain reputation in some quarters, and what he does isn't the sort of dancing that you do, but I would be curious to know your reaction to it, if you'd talk about it. Do you want to just roll that, and I think you'll probably recognize the gentleman. Most of you will. He's relatively well known. Do you have any idea who that was?
Well, obviously I do.
Yes, of course. I realize you didn't just get off the boat. For those who may have just moved to this country, that was Fred Astaire doing the well-known piano dance from Let's Dance, which I believe was 1950. What is it about Astaire? Could you do the things that he did?
Well, probably one could in some way.
Yeah.
He amazes me incredibly,
Yes,
if one can say that way.
Yeah.
So, 2 days ago, I went to a private viewing of This Is the Show or something. It's 50 years of Golden Mayer Studios.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer films?
Yeah. all the musicals, and he danced there through different periods. And well, it strikes me, man, is a genius, if you can say that.
He
And
studied.
it's unbelievable, man. And I think I could see after I've seen like American dance, different choreographers, how he influenced.
You can see
I
his
can see
influence
how
on
people
other-
just
Uh-huh.
filled their pockets with his fantasies, with his imagination, with his musical phrasing. He liberated dance, I feel.
There's no one who looks like him, even though there are people who tried to. It's hard to say what it is about a man's body or style or something no one can look anything like him when he dances. I don't know what that
Well,
comes from.
it's unbelievable musicality.
Is it up here, or?
It's unbelievable musicality and total involvement with the movement. He never does it for the camera.
Yeah.
He really goes into the movement and then projects far. There was a first sequence. I think he did it with Eleanor Powell. Last big musical on black and white. And they
Yes,
did
with Eleanor
number, and
Powell.
yes, an unbelievable number. And you could see there, his steps were much more clearer. They were involved, though they danced both together very well.
But you
And
saw him as a
phrasing
superior
and, yes, you
dancer.
could see, technically you could see how his movement projects much better.
What about with his other partners, with Ginger Rogers?
Well, I didn't
Some
see that
people say
many.
she's the best dancer of the partners that he had. Had you seen him before when you came
Well,
to
only in
America?
the film. And then also in that in this film, he dances with a coat hanger, and that was unbelievable. Now,
Coat hanger?
yes, this,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
for the hats and
Yeah.
how he partners it and how he dances, how he plays with the object, unbelievable. The fantasy, incredible. Man is really full of everything.
I've danced with him, you know.
Yes.
He was here on the show, and backstage before, he tried to teach me a waltz clog, just for a little gag we were going to do. And when I tried it, he said it looked like a waltz klutz. But he is a great genius. You know that he studied ballet with his sister before, as well as the other things. And incredible. Is he known in Russia? Would they have
Well,
ever seen a
obviously,
Fred
yes,
Astaire
obviously.
film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if I saw Jan Durbin, and no, obviously I saw Fred Astaire too.
Yeah. Jen who?
Diana Durbin. Diana
Oh,
Durbin.
Deanna Durbin.
No,
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Another great artist.
I mean, well, just that period films did come, so, and Sonny Heney, you know.
Sonia Haney, the
Sonny Heney,
the
so
skater.
also that, Garbrandt, that Vivian Lee.
Is there anything comparable in Russia to the American musical on film? Do they make musical films?
They do, but it's not in that way. It's different kind of extravaganza.
Yes. About agricultural
Yes.
products. Say, to change the subject slightly, and probably the mood, I was berated the last time you were on.
Are you?
For not asking you anything about Panov,
Uh-huh.
the great Russian dancer who wanted to emigrate to Israel and has been denied not only that, but the ability to dance. And I guess most people know what a tragic case that is, and that they say that now he's confined to his apartment, and he doesn't even work out at the bar anymore. What on earth do they have to gain by that kind of treatment of him?
Well, you see, I'm here. Obviously, I wasn't very agreeing with their way of living.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Can anything be done for him? Can you suggest anything that can be
Well,
done?
I thought that he have exit visa, and he should have come out and start dancing while there's still chance to return on stage.
I'm not sure. Can he leave if he promises not to go to Israel, or is it that he can't get
I
out?
have no
of the
idea.
country? I don't think he can get out.
Well, I thought that he had an exit visa, and I thought, well, it's a good idea to come out and start dancing while he can, because more delays and less chance to dance.
How long can a dancer go without working out.
Well, you
as
see,
say,
some
before
dancers
he's-
who have injuries, they stay away like 14, 15, up to 2 years. They stay away. I mean,
And-
if you
and
have a
can-
talent, there is always place for you on stage.
But would he be able to get back the level of virtuosity that he had
it's
before?
what you call perilous age.
Perilous age.
Yes, when 35, 36.
Yeah.
That's when you don't play with your dancing career.
Don't fool around with it.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
Do you know him?
Yes, he finished school 1 year before me.
And yet you're older, aren't you?
Very probably. I don't know. They're all younger. Well, so he have more chance to be on stage.
No, I mean, are you not a year older than he is?
I really don't know what age. How old is he?
I thought you said he was 35.
Did I?
Oh, you said approximate. Oh. Do I see a yellow light flashing?
No.
I should explain that. The last time you were here, I said, let's talk about your monumental temper. And you went like that. I said, how will I know if you're getting mad at me? And you said you will see yellow lights flashing and then red lights flashing. I thought I saw an orange light there for a second.
No.
But it is a tragic thing about Panov, and I just wonder if there's anything the art community of the world can do, or even anyone
Well,
can do.
I guess what they did, it was right direction.
Yeah.
It's one have to persist on.
Did you know Solzhenitsyn?
No, I only read about him here.
Yeah. We should take a pause right now, but we'll be back right after this. Oh yes, if you've just joined us, I'm speaking with Rudolf Hamietovich Nureyev. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did you know that I spoke Russian?
Yes? How long?
Let's see, let's pretend you just sat down. Доброе утро, Rudolf Hamietovich.
Добрый вечер. Because it's evening, rather.
Как поживаете?
Хорошо, спасибо. А как вы?
Ты говорю по-русски очень хорошо.
I was born in Russia.
I don't understand English. No. Я не понимаю. Повторите, пожалуйста.
Что повторить?
I'm out. What was that?
I said, what do you want me to repeat?
Oh, I see. Is that what I asked? I see.
You asked me to repeat something.
Yes. I must have played the record backwards. Why is it they can never quite get the excitement of a ballet on a film, or do you agree?
Oh, one can probably, if they can spend as much money on ballet film as they spent on film with a story. No, one of those.
I mean, but have you ever seen a film of a dance that you were happy with, that you felt had the same, or made one? I know you've made film, of course. Oh.
That's my fans. But looking
would you say
again,
you're-
going back to this
Wait.
film, what is that? MGM 50 years.
MGM Festival.
Well, there's the dance sequences. They filmed very well. The camera work was rather good.
And you were happy with Don Quixote?
Well, no, that wasn't MGM.
No, I know, but that was you.
No, but those films, and for example, like Singing in the Rain sequences, they're fantastic. The way camera work, and it was rather live.
Singing in the Rain.
There's a lot of good dance sequences, and
Yeah. Are
camera
you
was very
generally more
fluid.
pleased with yourself on film than you are disappointed? You know
Well,
what I mean? Do you ever think that they just didn't get it? Oh, take it away, it's not what I meant.
Well, like I saw this clipping before, and
Yeah.
I thought, well, gee, I mean, first of all, the camera work was dreadful. Then spotlight was cutting your feet away. just
Oh yes,
above
is that
your
why you said they
ankles.
cut my feet off?
No,
Oh, I-
the spotlight was falling on just to here, so you didn't see feet, and cameras were from the side, so from where it shouldn't see, and so. And then in Pas de Deux with Margot Fontaine, I mean, they came in the wrong angle, they cut line, they cut. It sort of was rather insensitive.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: is there a prejudice in other countries is a peculiarly an American prejudice against ballet in some way that it's not quite the thing that the average man would want to go see. Do you know what I mean? I think I grew up in this as a kid, that if I ever went to ballet, it would be either A, boring, or B, sissy. You know, and they're always, there was that old Oscar Levant's joke, the ballet is the fairies' baseball, and things like that. There's a kind of American ugly prejudice against the ballets.
There's
when you
so
see it,
many
it's so
prejudices,
athletic and so artistic at the same time that it's actually more satisfying than a sport, and it's more, I don't know what, it's more exciting than just most art. Do you know what I mean?
Well, generally art is for more selected public, no?
More selected public.
No.
So you wouldn't want the average...
Well, it's not true. I mean, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah. But you wouldn't want... It doesn't bother you that the... Well, I don't know if I asked the question correctly. Is it just in America that the ballet is considered to be for a kind of select aesthetic audience?
I don't believe so, because well, I'm touring America very often, and like last year it was 6 months, and this year it was 3 months on tour, and houses are full every night, and it's fantastic reception here. So I really have nothing to complain. And at the same time, Ballet Theatre tours and Joffrey tours and Paul Taylor tours and Graham and Merskan. You have so many companies and regional companies there dancing too. I mean, it's a lot of interest.
Have you played Lincoln, Nebraska?
No, but I played Champaign, Illinois.
Big deal. But I don't come from Champaign, Illinois.
All right. Do you come from Lansing?
Lincoln. Lincoln,
That's where you
Lansing,
come. I see
whatever.
Lansing. Grand Rapids?
No, I still come from Lincoln. No, the Joffrey Ballet played Lincoln, Nebraska in one of those...
Gary, Indiana?
Can I tell my story? I'm only here once every 2 weeks. The Joffrey Ballet toured, and they weren't sure whether they would be, accepted in the great heartland where I come from, Lincoln, Nebraska. And when they played, they were shocked to find that they were appearing in a coliseum of Hitlerian proportions. It's one of those giant, like you find in the Midwest, it's big enough for 5 basketball courts. They sold out absolutely every seat in Lincoln. Football coach came, loved it. Everybody, it was quite thrilling. So
well, they should be happy, no?
They were happy.
Wonderful. No?
Yeah.
So you really, there's the answer to your question. You contradict yourself. I mean, people in America love ballet.
I don't see how this... how many rounds ahead am I on this? After the last commercial, he said... During the last station break, he said, "Okay, you won that one." I didn't know we were keeping score. We'll be back while I regroup my senses.
Tootsies off. Oh, the picture my name is on television.
If I heard you correctly, you said they really cut my...
Tootsies.
Tootsies off. That's right. You really are fond of your feet. Has this... have you had this since childhood? I guess probably the most celebrated exponent, they always say, of what's called modern dance, as opposed to classical dance and other kinds of dance, is Martha Graham, America's own Martha Graham. And you've met her.
Yes.
In fact, there was a photo of you together recently.
Yes, I went to see 3 of her performances, 3 of her evenings while I was dancing on days off.
I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about her, but we could look at a film clip of her, and she's dancing in one of her best-known works, which is Appalachian Spring. And this has a score by Copeland, there in Copeland, and it has, it's kind of a classic in its own right, the score. And the set was designed by Isamu Noguchi, In this excerpt, which was loaned to us by the producer, it is amazing. I mean, I suppose age is the dancer's enemy more than any other profession, except athletes, and dancers are athletes. I don't say you could never worry about age again after seeing Martha Graham.
No.
I guess. How can you worry for another 40 years? She was brutally ridiculed when she began, you know, for being strange and dealing in psychological states.
Well, you see, if you stick around long enough, people will come back.
What turned the tide? When did she begin to be considered a serious, great artist?
Well,
Was
little
she
by little,
always?
you see, like, I think people came back to classical ballet, and then, well, my sort of way of thinking, and then they became more and more hungry, and so they start to go to other way of dancing.
Can you remember when you
And,
first saw that kind of dance, modern dance, that kind?
Well, that was 13 years ago.
Why would there be nothing like that in Russia?
Well, there used to be. I mean, as you know, Isadora Duncan, she came twice to Russia, and she organized a modern dance school, which was operating till year 1949. Then it was disbanded. So, well, but we didn't see too much there.
Would you want to work with Martha Graham?
Well, definitely. I mean, and she's a very, very great artist, and to have something rub off from her would be great.
What
And
stops you?
Well, sort of, it have to coincide. I mean, it's not enough just my wish.
You can't just say, I'd like a job, ma'am.
Yes. Well, because, I mean, no, it's a different technique, different style. You can't just barge in, you know. You have to make an extra effort. It's different technique.
Would you have to retrain in any way to dance
Well,
with her?
a lot. Yes.
You would?
A lot, yes.
You mean there are things you can't do
It's-
with your...
Well, it's all different, you know. It's opposite to our technique. If you wear turnout, they turn in, and it's more towards ground, all the movement, where we try to get out.
So there are muscles that you don't use that would be
they
used in
go
that
more
dance,
into
in
the
that kind of
ground.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not Russian, technically, are you,
No.
Rudolf? You're Tartar.
Yes, I am Tartar.
Does this mean your ancestors rode with Genghis Khan?
Well, I presume.
Do you ride?
No.
I went riding once with a
Yes.
girl I know who's been a dancer, ballet dancer, since she was a child.
Her
And
legs
she's
became.
she's so turned out that she, Nina is her name, and she walks like this. And we went riding, and it nearly killed her. It was just, you know, everything is pulled the wrong way. She had to hop home practically from the pain. Would it hurt you to ride?
Of course. Well, I wouldn't do anything until I stopped dancing.
Yeah,
No skiing, not horse riding. It's,
none of that. Out of fear of being injured?
well, I shouldn't.
Just shouldn't. You're that disciplined.
Well, I'm rather fond of dancing,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah. You said
I'm
once
thrilled.
an intriguing thing, and I'd like to hear it explained. You said I've molded my body into a dancer's body, and that it was difficult and it was painful. I think you said. What
Well,
can
it
you
is-
change
it
about?
is
What was
true.
wrong with your body before?
Well, you see, people usually go to school at the age of 8, 10 years old. I went
You went at
rather late,
17.
yes. So I sort of quickly attacked and snatched certain parts of knowledge, but body wasn't, muscles were not educated in proper way. So I had to retrain, elongate them, and pull and stretch and so on.
I asked you a couple weeks ago if I could come to class and watch you, and you said you'd be bored. Because I guess I pictured that I would see incredible things happening, and you said you wouldn't see anything exciting. Just
no. Well,
simple.
it depends what kind of, if you go beginners, very young people, they will sort of anxious to get on, they will exert themselves, and we have to, generation a bit older, have to maintain, try to make line much more clear, less fussy, and
But,
eliminate unnecessary things.
and in class, I would see you doing routine exercises.
Just routine and trying to maintenance.
To maintain what you
Yes,
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look at another film. This is a different kind of American dance, but it's a particular example of musical comedy dancing. And this is a form that was raised to a really stylish level, I guess, by Agnes DeMille. And this is one of the sequences that she created for a Broadway musical, Oklahoma. I don't know if you've ever seen this. She recreated this for the movie version in
back in Russia.
'55. You have Oklahoma in Russia?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Let's take a look at that. Does that look silly to you, or do you think of that as dance?
Well, it is dance, but
Yeah.
sort of Americans are rather fond of musicals, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Do you like the American musical film? Would you want to do
Yes.
the kind that... Would you, for example, want to do ever musical film of a kind that is not classical, like not... Well, like something like Jerome Robbins does.
That's wonderful, what he did.
Yeah.
Like West Side Story.
You would do something like that.
That's wonderful. No?
And would your friends consider that a come down for you in any way?
I don't know. I don't think I would console them.
You're way out of that. All right. We have to take a message from our local station, and we'll be right back. A quote from Martha Graham, how many leaps must Nijinsky have done before he did the one that startled the world? Thousands and thousands. I don't know what that comes from, but I guess it points to the fact that it's a rough profession,
Yes.
and nobody gets it easy. You've said that you always feel like an intruder in an interview I read, any company you work with. Is that because they resent your coming from
No, well, it's sort of...
nowhere, so to speak, and suddenly?
Well, sometimes you feel like, coming from outside, from nowhere, and
Yeah.
into...
Have you ever felt
Everybody's
resentment in the company you've danced with? Why do they have him? Why aren't our people good enough?
I'm sure. Sure.
How do you handle that?
Carry on. Stick around.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Let's talk about the intimate details of your private life.
Yes?
Looks like you start.
Questioning you.
Yeah. Oh, guys, sorry, we're running out of time. Sure, anything at all. Why not? I should lay myself open to the curiosity
Yes.
of the prurient and the morbid.
Right there?
Just anything at all. Could you tell from looking at me whether I was a dancer or not? Just hold that.
Yes, you might be. From musical.
Might be.
From a musical.
From a musical.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Is it something about my proportions, the exquisite symmetry of my body?
Well, sort of, if we were from a bad classical company, it would be more turned out. I mean, certain
I would walk
profession would be a little bit different, yeah.
Is there anything you can do dressed just as you are now that I couldn't do dressed as I am now?
A lot of things.
Thank you. It's been
Are we through?
it's been fun for you to have me here, and no, we have a few more minutes. I just didn't know if I could take it. I've hardly ever been so abused. Do you have a theory about privacy, though? Do you have a way of just cutting off an interviewer if they start to? Is it important?
Well, You can go so much and no more.
I just wondered if you crave it after a performance.
No, because if you're out, you have nothing to present next day.
Yeah.
There is a moment where you have to regenerate yourself.
And if you're tempted to stay out all night, go to Coney Island or something, what do you say to yourself?
Well, if you're tempted strongly enough, you will go. If you have real fun, and it might also be profitable for a performance.
Do you have to fight discipline, though? Have you ever stayed up all night and danced with no sleep?
Well, you see, when you dance, it's difficult to sleep straight away. No? So it takes like 4 or 5 hours to calm down.
Would you ever pop a pill?
No, I would never take any pills. I wouldn't know how to fight it.
Yeah.
No. Plain fatigue, you can go and work more and it's better. You'll feel better. But
you can deal with fatigue,
yes.
but not a state of mind that's not your
something
own.
Pills, I don't know.
Yeah. Do I strike you as weird?
Well, do you want to?
No. Who moved? I'm thinking of so many things I meant to ask you.
You're paid to be weird, no?
I'm what?
You're paid to be weird, to give weird questions.
I'm paid to be weird? No, it just works out that way. I mean, who moves well in public life? When you look at someone, do you check how they move? You know what I mean, public figures? Queen Elizabeth, Kissinger, Mrs. Onassis.
Well, it seems to be.
No, I meant physically.
I agree with you.
You would say those three people?
More names?
Yeah. Bob Hope.
Yes.
Very graceful.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Politicians seem to have a lack of physical grace. Have you noticed? In general?
Not always, no. I mean, I think they appear very often. Finally, they have a knack.
A knack?
Yeah.
Or an act?
Develop act, or they develop a knack to appear more kind of relaxed and cheerful. Whatever they're supposed to, because they put on a show, no?
Yeah.
It's a rather abnormal thing not to be.
Excuse me, I just thought of something. We have a short clip left. Can we show that now? I can? Oh, let me do this message first, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Never guess who this is. I don't know how well you can see it at home, but someone handed this up. This is you in your first performance anywhere?
With Dudinskaya and the Kirov.
Dudinskaya.
Natalia Dudinskaya.
That's
and,
right.
I was about 19 or 20, about to be 20.
You had black hair then?
It's a wig. And if you can
This is, or what you have here?
Both.
Oh.
Different wig. It's a black curly wig, and you can see a 1930s makeup with the cherry lips.
Yes, you look a little like Valentino. You should have a postcard made of that. We're almost completely out of time, aren't we? I want to thank you. It's a shame you waited until 17 to start dancing. You might have really been something. Nureyev, thank you for being here. До свидания.